What's going on, Dragon Brawlers? Scott Sedman, your guild master here for London Players Guild, and today I am joined by Peter. How are you doing, Peter?
I exist.
That that's better than not existing. So, yep, power of the pride. So today we have got the new ban list dropped on us, and surprise, surprise, baby SCR is on that list. Lol, jerk. That was just an April Fool's. I am not sorry for that. Baby
Boo!
hatch do 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 baby hatch do 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 do. It's such a good song. You should go and check out that video if you haven't already.
Boo!
But yes, today we have the UW4, the Supreme Rivalry ban list, errata list, limited list, whatever falls under that umbrella of cards. So today we only have three cards that have been hit. I guess you could say nothing's coming off of
Oh,
the lists.
errata is not really hit, right?
That's a fix, right? I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So announcement: UW4 additions to the banned limited errata card list. Greetings, Dragon Ball Super card game fans! For the release of UW4, we're adding one card of each to the banned limited and errata list. Wow. So the best and only banned card is EX10, Ur2, Master Roshi, Kamehameha, one specified green. That's not important. What is important is the fact it's a 0-5 combo and activate main pay 1 green. If your leader card is, send this green extra card, I should say, in your drop
Yeah.
area and add it to your hand. Peter, I think we saw this coming.
Definitely we've seen this coming. I know a lot of people were asking for Dormant to be banned, but let's be honest, with King Vegeta's presence, Topo, Flying Nimbus, and all of those additional attack stoppers, Green doesn't really have one. Even Black got one recently.
Yeah, so I think out of the I don't want to say triangle of good green cards, like it's Degra, Dormant, Frieza, Master Roshi. So that's kind of like out of that chain.
Paragus,
Yeah, I guess you can include
Ribrianne.
Paragus and Ribrianne. I think out of that
Oh,
chain, the one to hit was probably Roshi, right? Because it's not just in that chain of good stuff; it also extends to stuff like Big Amor, which basically
I
shuts
think
down Dark Broly.
one thing I want to point out, I was saying that Big Amor is going to be an amazing card, and people were laughing at me.
And it
And I was
was.
pairing it up with Master Roshi way before it was cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, but one
Hipster
thing I want
PMs.
to say is, like we have in reasoning here, Master Roshi lets green decks reuse extra cards such as Dormant Potential, giving them oppressively strong defense every turn. The existence of this card also limits the design space of future green extra cards. Therefore, we've decided to ban this card. And I think that's a good explanation. I would prefer to see here Demigra instead of Master Roshi.
I too would like the Demigra. I mean, the replacement here is that they have the freezer now, so the strategy still works. It's just less good.
Yeah,
Um,
you can actually answer that unison because you can't answer Demigra.
no,
It's impossible to answer Demigra if they don't want you to answer Demigra.
I think if Demigra still continues to be a problem, then we'll see it hit on the next list. The problem being is and I think a lot of people are right to point this out. Green wasn't winning, and I
It's
think
not the fact that the green was winning or was not winning. It's how you build green decks. How do you start building green decks? Well, I put 4 Demigra, 4 Paragus, 4 Dormant Potentials, 4 Counterplay Frieza, 2 Master Roshi, and maybe 2 or 3 Ribrianne.
yeah, and I'm not saying that's not the case, but what I'm
That's,
saying is
that's half a deck.
The reason Bandai didn't hit it, was because Green was doing nothing.
No, I don't agree. I
Okay.
mean, Bandai in the past did hit the decks that were not topping just because there was no variety.
Yeah, fair
Because
enough.
no one played anything else. The decks were not hit because they were topping. They were hit because there was nothing else. There was no variety. Mecha Frieza and SS3 in their uh, information, it was the lack of variety of leaders. Because you
Yeah.
go in the top 8, you had 6 SS3. Each of them playing different strategy, but they were SS3 leader.
Yeah.
The same with Mecha Frieza. You had always the same leader, and over 60% of the field brought the same field. Have all the same cards.
Mm.
and then you have a very small engine part, which in Dragon Ball by default needs to be a bit bigger. But it still starts feeling, when you build a green deck, it's pretty much you building a Yu-Gi-Oh! Gold deck, right?
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I personally think like if Demagra was the sole reason everything would be great, then they would have hit that. But I think Master Roshi is the correct hit given Green's potential right now. It could change next set, like, and I still think Demagra is going to be a strong choice. Um, but I think King Vegeta is going to take over Demagra's spot in King Cold, and King Cold's going to be the top green deck. So I don't
I
know.
think King Gold is going to be the top green deck, and mostly because it can afford to run more engine cards because it doesn't need
Yeah,
the Migra for self-awakening.
exactly. And Master Roshi being hit to stop King Cold looping some of those field cards if you don't see them. Probably a
They
good
have
set.
way more options to loop those field cards. This is only stopping really dormant potential.
Well, that's fair enough then. Still a good hit, I think. Like it puts, like, because no other color can recur their toppers and stuff, right? Like,
Yeah, well, it's harder to recur Tomo because it's a battle card, right?
yeah,
As they can
or
bounce back to
Poutine,
hand.
or
Yeah,
what I'm saying is those cards that stop the turns pretty
but
much.
they don't stop the turn, which we have seen. There are decks that can play through them,
Right. Okay. I get
and
what you say, but
dormant potential stops flat out the turn.
yeah,
And I wanted to say that I agree that Master Roshi should not be a thing with dormant potential in the same place, because it lets you just stop the turn
over and over and over
8
again.
times rather than 4 times.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, and then if you really want to be pushing it, just play air chunks over seeing time and do it again.
Yes, and bring it back.
Yeah. Yep.
So
Yeah.
I don't think Master Roshi is a bad hit, but
You would
maybe
rather have
not
seen
instead of
Demagra.
it. Alongside it, I would like to see Demigra.
That's fine. I think that's a very fair assessment. Now let's move over to the limited card. Now this kind of surprised me. I'm not gonna lie. It's TB1052 Sun Goku Hope of Universe 7. For those who do not know, it is an 8-drop free specified green. Ignore the green, it doesn't matter. Sun Goku Hope of Universe 7 110 combo. X Evolve 1 unspecified colour. Place 2 Universe 7 cards from your hand in the drop area. Universe 7 Sun Goku with an energy cost of 5 or more, again not limited to green. Triple attack, critical, when this card attacks. If your leader card is green, choose up to one battle card. Choose up to one card from your opponent's hand, or up to one of their battle cards and place it in the drop area. So this can clear blockers if your leader is green. That is the only caveat.
It never really mattered if the leader was green. This is either used as a stepping stone for Victory Strike,
Yeah,
or it is used as a triple attack critical.
that is also true. So it's got limited, which means it's brought down to 1. The reasoning here is the existence of this card limits design for space for future U7 cards, Sun Goku cards, or U7 Sun Goku cards, I should say, with an energy cost of 5 or more. Therefore, we've decided to limit it. Now, I disagree with the limitation. I agree with it being hit, but I would much rather have preferred to see them change it
Ban.
to a no. The ban, it shouldn't be banned. I think it should exist. But instead of it being a 5-drop U7 Sun Goku with an energy cost of 5 more, a 5-drop green Sun Goku U7.
There's one in existence.
There's
the
two.
Card when
There's two.
Wow. The card, when it was created, was designed to evolve on top of a yellow one.
I understand that, but I think that...
No, I think the issue is that they slapped the U7 tag on a yellow Goku's lineage with cost of 5.
Yeah, that too. That too.
I think that was the biggest problem with Victory Strike as well. Sorry, not Victory Strike, with Height of Mastery. That they slapped that U7 tag on it. Because that gave you that stepping stone from Height of Mastery to Victory Strike.
Yeah, No, yeah.
And here it's the same issue, right? This is another U7 that you can evolve on top of your 5-drop.
Yeah.
That you played with swap or whatever is the mechanic there.
Yeah.
And then you go into Victory Strike, turn 2.
No, and I understand that, but I'm saying it would be fixed if you made it green, and it would make it... I understand what you're saying where it originally came from, but, like, at least thematically, the green chain makes sense.
But then we would need to get a full proper green chain, which we don't have at the moment. And B,
We do.
I don't know if you noticed, but they moved, and I bless them for this. I bless Bandai for this. They moved away from mechanically altering cards with errata.
That's true.
The cards work because then it just gets confusing, and then they
Yeah.
need to reprint them.
And then they make the errata pack.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's yeah. So essentially now if you want to turn to Victory Strike, you have two ultimates to find. Is essentially what they've done. And I
That
don't
deck was
hate
already
it.
inconsistent as it was, so
Yeah, I think it's a good hit. I like it needed to be hit, and I prefer nothing to be banned from that because I think it's still a fun deck to mess with. Like the idea of this card, it's always been one of my favorite cards. Like just the artwork, it's so good.
oh yeah, the card is amazing. I like the card. The issue I am having with this is it is going to happen where you go into this 8-drop and then you proceed into Victory Strike. And the
Yeah.
amount of salt that's going to be generated by that is going to be ungodly.
Yeah, so at least if they've had to hit a one of, and then it also makes it easier to counter. Also, like so if you manage to deal with this somehow, then they're not just gonna have another one ready to go. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can understand it being limited to one. Like I say, I prefer if it was changed to a green like strategy, but I understand your reasoning saying you don't want to mechanically alter cards so they don't work how they're meant to work, if that makes sense. So yeah, I can see both sides of it. I think it's a good hit. Turn 2 Victory Strike would be a bit silly. Again, it's not the most consistent of decks, but like we've seen it with Eggman playing Cell Surge Victory Strike. It's still a scary thing, and being able to pop off because obviously in Cell Surge he gets the effect. He gets
A
to
lot of
rip
search
cards.
and the effect, yeah.
Yeah.
So he gets to attack twice before he goes into Victory Strike, right?
Yeah, so so it makes sense, and I think it's a good hit. And finally, actually, final thoughts on that, Peter. Actually, I'll get your final thoughts on that.
My final thoughts is I'm against limiting card in this card game.
Mm-hmm.
It just brings over the feels bad. Like when Unyielding Trunks was limited, it was always feels bad because my opponent actually had it, or when Flute was limited.
Yeah,
They actually got it, and it's just a feels bad situation. And that's my That's my feeling with every single limited card. Unless it's a card that you can tutor, and you're stopping a player from tutoring it so many times,
Mm.
I don't see a point in limiting a card like this.
But if it was banned, is Height of Mastery the only Victory Strike target then?
Yes.
So that's why it's not banned.
Yes.
Yeah. And then finally an errata on the Demon God Tower offering of the Dark Dragon Balls. It's simply just adding the auto, but Peter, you're the rules guy. You can explain why that's important.
I mean, if you don't have sparking on its own, is not a skill; it's a requirement for activation. So we didn't have what type of a skill it is. Like super combo on its own is a permanent skill.
Mm.
Sparking is not a skill. It's not a classified skill. It's an unclassified skill. So skills in this game classify into 4. You have auto, activate, permanent, and counter. And then you have unclassified, which would be sparking, which would be burst, etc. Those are cost skills, unclassified skills.
Mhm.
So in this situation, how the card is worded, it is an auto, but without that activation, for example, let's say it was a counter to something,
Yeah.
or it was an activate battle.
Mm.
So you put this in a combo, and you don't draw immediately. Because it's an activate battle, you need to declare that you're drawing. So that will make a super combo that doesn't need to draw.
Mm-hmm.
And this type of things, essentially.
Yeah. So it just, I mean, we all assumed that's how it works as a
Yeah,
combo,
that's how we play
but,
with it. I haven't noticed playing it with it in matchy, so...
Yeah, but it's good to have it clarified just in case, like you said, those things do come up where someone tries to use it as a counter.
I mean, there is no classification, so technically there is no opening to actually use the skill.
Ah, fair enough then. And
So
so
it would
the
be a skillless super combo.
I mean, like, I don't like. It's a fine fix. It's a fix. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it's not. The important thing here is not mechanically changing how the card works.
no, it's just making it so it can work.
Yeah. The last mechanic change to the game we had was in Draft Box 5.
Was it?
A year ago. Yeah, they changed how U3 works.
Oh yeah, of course. And then they just banned
Yeah.
them anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah, like ban them. So the effective dates for North America, Europe, Oceania, Asia, Latin America, Unison Warriors Series for set for Supreme Rival pre-release / release day to be announced. We plan to announce the next band limited errata update before the release of Union Warriors Series 5. Series Set 5. We are dedicated to developing a game that Dragon Ball fans and card game fans alike can enjoy. Thank you for continued support of Dragon Ball Super Card Game. April 9th, 2021, Dragon Ball Super Card Game. So overall, Peter, I think there's probably 1, 2 cards that I'm missing on this list.
One is the Migra. What other card are you thinking about?
Celzina. I know they
Let's
won't
be-
hit Celzina.
Let's be honest, no secret will ever be hit.
It'll be fixed, but it won't be hit. I agree.
It won't even be errated. No.
They've already errated
It-
secrets.
No, not mechanically unique. They have not changed how mechanically cards work.
No, that's what I meant. But I meant if they misprint a secret red, it'll errata them.
Yeah, but again, this is not an errata you're thinking about. They're not doing Mega Frieza or Babidi on it.
True.
So those are... They're not going to mechanically change secret. They're not going to ban secrets.
Yeah.
We are stuck with them. I wanted to say when we were talking about that 8-drop Goku, that the source of all of the issues there is Victory Strike.
Yeah.
If Victory Strike didn't exist, that card on its own wouldn't be a problem. Height of Mastery wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, they would just be strong finishers, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
But it's the potential that they can go even further beyond their limits.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, that's a
So-
really fair point.
But we are never going to see Victory Strike banned, and I'm fine with that.
Oh, I'm totally okay with that.
But in this case, I would probably ban this guy.
Okay, I can understand that.
I'm still going to stand by that. I think limiting is just going to create too much salt, too much accusation in current day and age. So
Fair enough. So yeah, that's the ban list. It's not a terrible ban list. It's probably good that Bardock didn't come back to the game.
really, I wanted to see him more.
Are you sure about that? That's yeah. No, all you have to do is just make it so it's a Goku lineage lead. No, that still doesn't work. It's still terrible.
That still doesn't work.
Still doesn't
Even
work.
if you put him at once per turn, it still doesn't work.
Still doesn't work. It's still too good of a card. So yeah, overall, not a bad ban list. It's fine. Like, we'll see what it does to the format. Like, without Roshi, I just...
I still
think-
think
I
Green
think
is going to be playing the same 16 cards.
That's what I mean. I think I'm still just whelmed by it. You know what I mean? I don't think this is any super changing ban list, but I also don't think the game's in a place where it needs anything to be super struck and hit and change everything. Like, I think it's fine where it is right now. So, it makes sense. I'm okay with this list. I would do it differently, but obviously, I understand where you're coming from with it as well, Peter. So yeah, I'm overall happy with the list, but not like jazzed about the list, if that makes sense.
It could have been better.
Okay. What would you have done apart from just ban Goku and ban Demigra? Or is that would that be what you hit?
I mean, those are the things, like, off the top of my head that have been problematic, right?
That's fair.
The other thing that people are complaining about is the U9. And I think I would actually do something that this game doesn't do, is a semi-limit a card. So put it to 2 copies.
Oh, okay.
And that would be U9 Assemble.
Oh yeah, Unan Assemble's pretty strong. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be the card that I would look into limiting to just 2 a deck.
Okay. Well, there you go, guys. Let us know in the comments below what you thought about this ban list. Would you hit something different? Do you disagree with Roshi being banned? Would you like Son Goku Hope of Unit 7? To be fair, though, like, pulling it off, it feels kind of like the ultimate combo now. Like, There is only one hope in my deck. Son Goku, Hope of Universe 7 into Victory Strike, the awakened power. Like, to be fair, if we see that at some finals, I'm going to be very happy. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, let us know in the comments below. Guys, please head over to londonplayersguild.com. You can get tickets for our upcoming events, both Dragon Ball and Digimon. We also have sealed products up for grabs. And if you want even more discount on that sealed product, head over to our Patreon, again linked in the description below, where if you're a $10 Patreon, you can get those boxes for how much, Peter?
£62. That's both for Digimon and Dragon Ball.
There you go. The only caveat being we do open those on channel and get to show it off with the world, and then we send you them all nicely packaged. So you help the channel, you get cards cheap, and we get content. I think that's a really fair compromise. Anything else I have forgotten, Peter?
I don't think so, no.
Awesome. Well, leave a like, leave a dislike, and then let us know why in the comments below if you did leave a dislike, because that's how content creation works. Subscribe. I've been Scott7, Peter's been Peter, and yeah, we'll see you next time. We'll see you next time. I forgot to hit stop record.